Wait for everybody to take a seat. All right, looks like we are live online and the meeting has been called to order. So we'll go ahead. Everybody ready? All right, let's start with roll. Kyle?
Okay. Rice?
Here.
Longstreet?
Here.
McCaffrey?
Here.
Belkamp?
Here.
Bush?
Here.
Hill?
Here.
Allison and Jim are both absent. Sacks?
Here.
All right. We do not have any additions or deletions to the agenda. So we'll go right on moving to the approval of the minutes of the February 21st Parks meeting. Hopefully everyone had a chance to take a look at those. Do we have a motion for approval?
So moved.
All right, thanks, Jane. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, thanks, Lucas. All right. I think there's just one super minor comment from me is just the motion for the storage shed was Roger and not Bruce.
Okay.
If we could, I know I had some of the other things recorded wrong the month before, but I think
Okay.
just talking to them real quickly, and maybe we could just correct the date of the next meeting. I think it said
Okay.
there for this meeting, but super minor stuff.
Yeah.
Looked good though. Any other comments or edits, questions? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Hi.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. All right, minutes are approved. We do not have any communication, so we'll move right into our first public comment session. And it looks like we have some folks in the audience. So for those folks in the audience who would like to make public comment, we ask that you fill out a registration card if you haven't already. I know we have several of them. And we're called upon, please come forward and state your name and address, and you'll have 3 minutes to make comment. And just to note that it's not necessarily a back and forth discussion, but we'll give you 3 minutes and you can address the Parks Commissioners. So we'll call you one at a time since I have the cards here. But if there's anyone else who didn't get a card and would like to speak, make sure Kyle up here can help you with that if you need help there. And those of you online watching, there should be instructions or the email address if you'd like to submit written comments to the commission members at any time. So if you have questions on that, you can always reach out to the Parks office as well. So we'll start with those in attendance with Mary England.
Well, let's let Wendy go.
Oh, okay, sure. Wendy Kuhn.
Yes.
Mhm.
Good afternoon, members of the Ottawa County Parks Administration. I want to thank Bobby Sabine and Margie Vavine, who sparked my passion for our parks. Kurt Terhar for answering all my questions, Melissa from the DNR for her assistance, and Commissioners Roger and Allison for taking time to walk the proposed trail route with me last week to see the potential challenges firsthand at the Bass River Recreation Area. I stand before you today with a heart full of love for our Ottawa County and state parks. However, my love comes with concern regarding the proposed development plans for the Bass River Recreation Area. While I understand the goal of creating a more inclusive park experience, I worry that the current proposal might overlook the safety for our equestrian community. Bass River is one of the few places in the county where horses can safely swim, a unique feature that attracts riders. However, the proposed paved bike path encroaches on this area and also creates a bottleneck when connecting to the existing horse trails. Bikes can be a source of anxiety for horses, and having them share the same narrow space could lead to accidents and injuries for the bikers, horse riders, and the horses. I believe there is a better way. The biking community has access to miles of trails in the county, while equestrian options are much more limited. Bass River offers something truly special for horse lovers, a diverse landscape with water access, something unavailable elsewhere. Another point of concern is the planned path through a large area of invasive Russian olive trees. As we all know, these shrubs grow back quickly, creating maintenance headaches. History shows that equestrians are dedicated to trail maintenance. Our barn community alone logged more than nearly $5,000 worth of volunteer work last year, and I'm confident mountain bikers share the same commitment. However, paved paths often create an expectation of someone else handling maintenance, ultimately costing taxpayers more. When I voted for increased park funding, my vision was one of preservation and expansion, not overdevelopment. Thankfully, there is still time. I, along with many passionate volunteers, are eager to collaborate and find solutions that will benefit all who cherish Bass River. We can develop a plan that keeps everyone safe and happy while remaining true to the spirit of this special place. Thank you for taking time to listen. Let's work together to ensure Bass River remains a safe place for all to enjoy.
Great, thank you.
Right.
Thanks, Wendy. Cindy or Mary, did you want to make a comment?
My name is Cindy Pravda. I live in Grand Haven and been a horseback rider for, since I was 6 years old. And a lot of our trails keep getting taken away from us, which is a big concern for a lot of them in the equine community. Now we have a beautiful trail that we can use in Bass River, and now this is going to be paved and we won't be able to use it. Or harm could come to any of people riding or right on the path itself. I just hope there's a compromise we can find. Just something, that place is so huge. Can't we move this trail somewhere else? We rode there last spring and everything was underwater. It was up to our horses' knees. And this happens all the time out there. I guess that's all I need to say. You know, I hope we can have a compromise. We love the park system. You're beautiful. The horse people are getting pushed out of the way. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mary?
I just want to concur with everything they have said.
Okay, great. Thank you for coming. Okay, it looks like that is all the public comment we have at this time. So we will move on to staff reports and start with the director's report. Oh. Yep, if you could lower your microphone too, Jason, so everybody can hear you, that would be great.
Hopefully that works.
Great.
Have to find my place in the packet.
Do you want us to jump ahead and come
No,
back to you?
I got it.
Okay.
That's it, right. That's the limitations with using electronics. So just a few notable highlights. The stakeholder committee for the Harbor Island group is going to be conducting a community survey for input regarding the future uses of Harbor Island and the restoration work. So when that comes out, we'll want to share that and just make sure the community participates. Another notable highlight, the J.H. Campbell stakeholder group met last week. They announced, we found out at the meeting, that the jetties, once the power plant is decommissioned and goes dark, their easement, which allows them to have the jetties in Lake Michigan, will expire. And then the ownership of the jetties will revert to the state and then DNR underneath the state. So that was a major milestone in kind of their conversations with the decommissioning, who's going to be owning the jetties. So I think I would expect then additional conversations about the future use and the various components of the site. So this upcoming year. Hopefully, if you haven't, there's a link. I included the new softwares up and running. So much more user-friendly. On my phone the other night, I got an email, my personal email, and set up my account, and I think I did it all right. So but it's really much easier to look at the programs and upcoming activities and events that we have. So so myself and several other staff members attended the Friends meeting. We had a great meeting. We'll be there. We have an agreement with them that expires in June, so we'll be bringing that forward to the Parks Commission to renew. We also talked about how staff can better support Friends. So we talked about things like exclusive programs, training opportunities, assisting with the management of their membership list, and potentially website. So I think it was really productive. So just one thing that I didn't include there, Kyle and I participated in a kickoff meeting. There's a new software that the county is going to be rolling out. It's a one meeting Grantius. It will help with the agenda development and workflow for packets that go into the board meeting. So by default, then we'll start using it for our Parks Commission packets. It also helps with the meeting management and streaming component. So, and then it records minutes and motions as well. So numerous departments will be involved. It's being led by the clerk's office because it will be the record keeping of the minutes and motions for the clerk. But so I think they expected that. Was it towards the end of the year, Kyle? When it be?
For the
Okay.
testing and training.
Yep. And then I just attached a few things at the consumers meeting. I shared a presentation. It was almost I updated a little bit from the one I had done with the township board meeting, and then there were a couple letters of support that we included for various partners for grant opportunities. So happy to answer any questions.
Great. Any questions for Jason?
When is the next Campbell's meeting? They say.
It's quarterly, so I included some. They will have this. Get back to my right. That's. They will have a public open house this September, and yeah. So I'm not sure when the next.
Has not been set yet.
Yep.
Okay, because you're on there. Right?
Great. Anything else? Questions? All right, we'll keep rolling with the Parks Operations Report. Jason Berger.
All right. One of the more notable things is we had quite a bit of heavy snow towards the end of January. So we had one of the highest numbers of downed trees we had to clean up in a very long time. 139 trees our staff cleaned up in the month of February. We averaged throughout the year about a tree a day, so about 30 trees a month. So that's quite a bit more than average. But got those all cleaned up. One of the other pictures I included there was just some work we were doing on the barn at Eastmanville Farm. Just repairing some rot and some other issues, mostly around windows and doors, to keep that barn up. And then another notable thing would be our seasonal hiring is underway. We've been doing lots of interviews. We have a few people hired, a few more than what you see on this list, because this is obviously what we did during the month of February. But still, it's going somewhat slowly, but we are filling positions regularly. We will be doing some more Facebook advertising, and we're going to be putting a banner on the billboard on 31 there, our billboard that's on the side of 31. We're going to have a banner that goes over the bottom part of that has now hiring on it. So that'll hopefully attract a little bit of attention, since that billboard hasn't changed in 9 years. Somebody will say, hey, something's different. Another thing that I just wanted to mention is just I was going through motor vehicle permit stuff today through our online system. And just as a note, we have sold about a third of the amount of annuals we normally sell in a year already
That's great.
for this year. That's a lot higher than normally. They're all renewals, people who got the emails to renew their permit from last year. So yeah, close to 3,000 annual permits we've already sold. So that'll definitely help with the bottleneck of people trying to get permits as they come to the park. A lot of people are going to just have them already. So it's
Great.
good news.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to answer any questions about anything else.
Anything for Jason? All right, we'll keep
I will
Oh,
add
sorry, go
on,
ahead.
just real quick. So on the state, it's Eagles orphaned well list. They have identified all of the Fisher McCall wells that we have at the Bend, that are at the Bend area. So for closure, and I think it implies that it's this year, we need to follow up with the Eagles staff. I'm not very optimistic that they'll all happen this year, but normally they only have a few on their list to be done each year. So that's really good news. So.
The two that are in the lake are temporarily capped, and they are scheduled for this spring to be completely removed down to the level of the bottom of the lake. So they won't be visible above the water anymore. And that'll happen this spring.
Do they get permanently plugged at that time?
Those
Or is
those
that temporary?
no, those
until
will
they
get
come
permanently plugged
Okay,
at that
they'll
time.
do it
So
to
they will,
back? Okay.
yeah, they've got caps
Good.
welded on them right now.
Mhm,
They'll, the old plug that was in there, which I guess is not an adequate plug, will
mhm.
get drilled out completely. They'll put a new adequate plug all the way down to the bottom of it, and then they will cut the top of it off. Instead of where it is currently above the water level, it'll be way below the water level at the ground level of the bottom of the lake.
Great.
So hopefully nobody will ever see that well again.
How deep is that? Like from to the bottom of the lake? You know?
I'm not sure where it is there. It's not that deep. I mean, it's maybe 10 feet, I think, at that point.
It's fluctuated a good bit.
Yeah, most of that lake during normal water levels isn't deeper than 16 feet because that's what these excavators could get. And there wasn't gravel deeper than that, most of it. So.
Okay. Good. All right, any other questions? All right, Kurt, you want to take the planning and development report?
Sure. I'll let it stand as written other than to comment on a couple things. Aaron and I have been working, well, Aaron especially, feverishly the last couple of weeks to get our grant applications that were approved in because those are due April 1. So that's a big part of what we're doing right now. The big news out of the report is that finally the Stearns Bayou segment of the Explorers Trail is under construction. And in fact, if you traveled down there, you might have had to detour because they're building a boardwalk along 128th Avenue across Little Robinson Creek, and they actually had to shut the road down to get the equipment in. So anyway, that is awesome. And so by late summer, that segment is supposed to be done. So that will be awesome. The other thing that is happening, Ottawa Sands has been going on, for a long time, but we have a kind of a kickoff coordination meeting tomorrow because the lake loop, the restroom, day use restroom, and all the ecological enhancements and improvements we finally have all of our permits and they will start tomorrow. They're actually they're kind of doing some stuff now, but tomorrow we kind of get organized. What might come out of the meeting tomorrow is that Ottawa Sands could be shut down to all public because we will be working right on the path that everybody walks around the lake, those kind of things, lots of equipment moving here and there. So that will be determined tomorrow, but I think it's likely that we will shut it down for a while. So, but we're on schedule then for all of that stuff to be done in August of this summer. So that's when I think the festivities will occur, right?
So the shutdown would be like during most of that time?
Yeah,
like
probably
the
early this
summer?
spring, right? So it may, depending on how active they are early on in getting things done, maybe we can open sooner than that.
Yeah.
But
So we'll have to make sure and let the public know.
yes,
because
well, that's one of the big concerns, right? So as soon as we know, we will
Yeah.
make
Popular
this
spot.
known. Yes.
With 4 different contractors working out there, I think the one that's going to be the most contingent upon what happens is going to be the one creating the path. The ecological improvements in the wetland creations and all that will be done fairly quickly, 6-8 weeks maybe.
Yeah.
The path will be going on beyond that though.
Okay.
All right. Otherwise, happy to answer any questions.
So Kurt, we had, Riley was going to share the footage we have of Ottawa Sands.
Oh.
With the commission.
Yeah. So you're looking at the parking lot on the left is the parking lot that's for the kayak launch.
Mhm.
And then you're kind of looking east, maybe a little bit northeast, kind of into the bowl where the camping facilities are. So I think I've told you the yurts are basically done. There's still some interior stuff we need to do, like there's little kitchenettes in there, so those aren't, the cabinetry and stuff isn't in for that yet. The restroom building is almost done. All the fixtures are in. But as you recall, we don't have electricity out here yet. We don't think we will have that until May. So nothing will be able to be tested until then.
Nice. Imagine it with leaves on the trees.
Leaves on the trees, right? When it's greener, it's nicer, yeah.
Yeah.
So you see that set of stairs there on the right-hand side of the screen. There's a bench and a sitting area right at the top of those stairs. That is just an amazing point to just sit and watch the sag in the river, and I've been up there a few times and just it's my favorite spot out there right now.
Can't find you, that's where you'll be.
Exactly.
Has good sound reception there.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Riley.
Working on
Joke,
that.
joke, yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Get a hot spot up there.
So those are the 3 tree houses there. The one that's the least done, that is the largest one. They started with the smallest one, went to the medium one, and so they're just a little bit behind each other. The smallest one should get a roof on it very soon, and then they can do all the stuff inside that needs to stay dry.
Nice.
Great.
How long ago was this footage taken? Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, that's exciting. Good. Any questions for Kurt on his report? All right. It's just super quick. So the Stearns completion date and that's the part that has the bridge that has
Yeah.
to have both sides. That's all going to be done by,
September
September?
is the date
Oh,
that's
okay.
contracted now. Does that mean they'll meet
well,
that?
right. Yeah, but that's the plan
It sounds
right now.
ambitious, but that is
Okay.
what MDOT and the Road Commission and those folks have determined is
Nice.
a reasonable
Okay.
time. So
Great. All right, we'll keep going with the community engagement report. Riley?
So I included some upcoming events, most notably coming up in April, we have a total solar eclipse. So one kind of major thing that happened recently is the telescope in the observatory is undergoing repairs and will be out of commission for at least 8 to 12 weeks. But they are still running the astronomy programs and the public observing nights. They're just using their personal telescopes. So that's really awesome for us. There is a vernal pool program coming up, which is really exciting as well, and some Earth Day volunteering opportunities. And then I will just second what Jason said. We launched our recreation software and we've been troubleshooting some issues, but other than that, we've been getting a lot of positive feedback. So that's been really exciting.
Do you have a count on how many people have established accounts yet on the new software?
I can check. I haven't in a while, so I will give you a number probably at the end of.
Okay.
Yeah, it's there's quite a few, so it's encouraging because of course you hear a few people, stating the negative of it, but far more positives and successful logins and new accounts. So it's exciting.
So have you gotten many complaints about the telescope being down or concerns?
Maybe a little bit of disappointment. which
So
is to
you
be
can,
expected,
you
but-
can remind them that they're more than welcome to donate to that cause because we don't own it. And they would appreciate your donations.
Actually, we own it.
We own the telescope?
Mhm.
We didn't buy it, but we own it.
It was all donated.
We didn't buy it, but we own it. Could you explain that to me?
So they donated it
Okay,
It's
as
part of
well
our
as the
agreement
building.
with them.
Yep,
okay.
as part of the agreement. And then if it ever, right, they'll work on repairs if it ever breaks down and we choose not to fix it and would want to get rid of it. It's,
So
I
they did
think
all
the
the
way it's written
fundraising
is they
for
would
it.
have the right to, an option to.
They did
take
all the fundraising for it and they have the membership, but they don't, okay.
And then they help
For
us
us.
operate it. But
Yeah.
they're still doing the Friday night
With like the way it used to.
gatherings. They're just using personal telescopes.
And there's going to be apparently at least 4, so actually more people will be able to
Oh, wow.
see
Nice.
quicker than
Sure.
with the big one.
That's the way they used to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't they still bring out some personal telescopes for those nights too? Yeah,
Typically, they just don't have the name.
the main one. Yeah.
Okay.
And for the eclipse, the solar telescope will be installed by then, or no? We don't know.
I don't think it will.
I think that's in April, so I doubt it.
Yeah, right.
They might, they have it already purchased and in hand, so we'll have to see if they, because I know that they have some programs planned, but we'll have to,
I don't know if the stand is available.
Yeah.
They'll do I think they have solar filters they can put on their personal
Right.
telescopes as well, so they'll
Sure.
do that during the solar
Sure.
eclipse event.
Great. Any other questions?
One other dumb question. Vernal pool, what is that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You go, Kelly.
Sorry.
Frogs and salamanders, that's all you need.
What's that?
Frogs and salamanders, that's all you need to know.
Okay.
I'm happy to talk with you. after
Okay,
this,
yeah,
but-
you
No,
enlighten me
if
later.
there's a
then.
program available that you can make, it's amazing. But I'll send you a video
That'd be
link.
great.
That's like a 3-minute video on what vernal pools are. It was done by the state last year, and it's really
cool.
excellent. I'll just
Great.
resend it to all commissioners. You don't have to watch
Just
it.
give them a little bit though, right? It's these
Well, we have a
pools,
park.
these in woodlands usually. There's
Right.
These little ponds that develop usually in the spring, thus they're vernal,
Mhm.
and they are where these frogs and salamanders
And
love
they
to
always
be. And
They
they
go to
typically go
breed.
away, right? So in the
Correct.
summer, you don't
They
see
dry
them.
up in the
The
summer.
ponds dry up and.
Yeah, they're really, so Neely had us out last year and we collected salamander
Egg masses.
egg masses and
Mhm.
and we looked at them and then we put them back.
Sure.
And that's a count for the state and
Okay, gotcha.
for you guys. for
Yeah, the state, but yeah, it's really amazing because they don't look like much and they're very active right now, which
Sure.
everything looks dead and
the little net.
whatever. And you go in with nets and it's amazing the amount of life and how critical they are for frogs and salamanders whose populations are declining pretty significantly. So, all right, I'm not going to get
Okay.
off on tangent.
All right, thanks. Yeah, sorry to
Just a
derail you.
No,
but
no,
Thanks for
that's
enlightening
good.
me.
That's good. But yeah, it's a very seasonal opportunity. So if there's a program and park staff have been great at developing some new, and because Ottawa County Parks are lucky enough to have Port Sheldon natural areas like cream of the crop, like vernal pools in this whole part of the state. So it's pretty cool. But,
Great.
all right. And
Okay.
Riley, yeah, I know, right? It got me going. I thought just to point out, it was great to see the first aid certification, I think, too, in the report, so that we have that with some of our instructors now and can teach it looks like, right? Yeah, excellent. Okay, moving on to the natural resource management report. I know Jason said Neely got a little tied up out in the field, so I think we're going to let that report stand as presented unless anyone has questions or wants to call out any highlights. I know we have some commissioners that are pretty active with the natural resource management.
And I would just point out, they did the site prep and seeded the area at Gross Park. So they'll be, and have a plan for them managing that throughout the season until that's established, so.
Any
For
others?
For this year,
go
we
ahead.
should see the cover crop come up, quite profusely, but it probably won't be as impressive this year as the
Right.
native seeds established because they take a little longer, but they are protected with a cover crop that we'll see this year, and and Neely and her crew will be managing that.
Any other questions? Comments? All right, we'll keep moving with the development report. Glenn?
Well, February continues to be a slow month in our line of work here. You can see that our numbers for the month were pretty consistent in terms of the number of individual gifts, although we had a good January, so we're up on the year. With regard to both percent annual review revenue goal and our average donation, I'm going to call your attention to the footnote at the bottom. As a point of comparison, in February of 22, we got a big $100,000 pledge payment from the Weggy Foundation, which skewed 2022's numbers up. So as you're making those comparisons, you'll want to take note of that. But we continue to move forward. We raised 3.5% of goal in February, and they're 7.5% on the year. Similarly, you can see that our average donation was up from last year, but considerably down from 2022.
Yeah, right.
We secured $6,000 in sponsorship support for health and wellness programs, and that those programs, that package, if you will, consists of the Step It Up walking program as well as the Grand Explorers Trail Race. We met with the Fry Foundation to update them on the Grand River Greenway and introduce the Rosie Mound project. And we were invited to submit a proposal this month, which we'll get done. We submitted a $25,000 request to the Carl's Foundation over in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. Bloomfield Hills. This is a new prospect for us, so we're excited to put that out and see what kind of results we get. And we organized our first planned giving luncheon for the beginning of this month, actually. That we had 11 guests, and Hans Mulder, who's a local attorney, gave an overview presentation of planned giving instruments and ways that you can advantageously give to both to the parks as well as benefit yourself and your estate and your heirs. So it was a good month.
Yeah.
I'll take the question.
Did the Fry Foundation indicate what type of proposals they're entertaining? Any specific
We talked
areas?
about the Rosie Mound project.
The Rosie Mound?
And so, that would be the property that we would go forward with.
Okay, good.
Planned giving was good.
Good.
Any other questions? Comments? All right, thanks, Glenn. We'll move on to the strategic plan progress report. Jason, did you want to provide an update on that?
So, we've had all of our engagement sessions, the public survey, and this number, I have to see when it was. I think we're up over 4,700 maybe. So we're almost at 5,000. So we still have it open for not quite a month. A few highlights, the strategy lab. I think I saw a reminder email come out today, and you all should have received that. So that'll be April 18th. That's really, we'll spend a lot of time kind of working through all the information and all of the information that the consultants kind of refined for us from the engagement sessions as well as the survey. And then we'll have a first draft work session May 15th, and then public presentation on June 13th. So, and we'll have the draft up on the website before that. So making really good progress. Aaron's not here right now, but I think Thursday was it? We got our scientific, we got the preliminary results back from the scientific survey. So they interviewed 450 residents. It's kind of very, very supportive of Ottawa County Parks and kind of the questions we ask. So we have a meeting set up in I think it's a week or so with them to review it all. And it was over 120 pages. So there's a lot there. And then we'll share it all with committees upcoming. So Kurt, anything you want to mention on that? It's Aaron could tell you all, but there's just a lot there to digest. So
No, I mean, just that, I think what surprised us is how well they broke it down into all these different categories of our constituents, right?
Yeah.
So with each question, it gave you, right, it would give you the overall results, but then it would break it down by demographics. And
So demographics, area of the county, all different things. So yeah, it really takes some time to chew on some of that stuff.
And there was what, you said 450 got completed?
I think that was
Yeah,
somewhere in there?
400, 450 was
Yeah.
what they were
Okay.
going for.
And was
right?
it pretty representative of, geographic and all other demographics? So
Yes,
they were
it-
successful.
Yes, right. So
Yep.
I looked at that too, right? And the men and women, it was 51% women, 50 or 49% men or something, just
Yep.
what the demographics would say. All those different categories. I don't know how they actually
Nice.
did it. And yes, geographically for sure, they got everybody. Yeah.
And you can pull it out by each jurisdiction, which is, neat. So, yeah.
That's what makes it scientific.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and then we today just got the contract for our subscription for the mobility data. So we'll keep you guys posted. So what that will do is give us all of our visitation data. We can really look at who's using the parks, folks in various regions, which parks are they going to? So that'll be a big part. So all that will feed in, and the community benefits analysis is underway. So lots of stuff going on. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Jason? All right, we'll keep rolling then with the committee reports, and we'll start with the planning committee. Lucas, you want to give a synopsis there?
Sure. As usual, there's a lot happening there at this committee, and many of these items have made their way to the agenda. The review of the 2025 budget is just a reminder of how many projects are in the wings coming up and in the future. I think from my perspective, it was nice to see Eastmanville Farm back on the agenda and getting some attention. Looking at a feasibility study out there similar to the Bend area in 2025, hopefully. So with that, any questions, I'd be happy to try and answer them.
Anything for Lucas?
And
All
thank
right.
you again, Kurt, for the detailed minutes.
Yeah.
Three pages of it.
Good job, no questions. All right, the executive committee, I'll just go ahead and give a quick verbal. There wasn't really much to go over this month, so we just met via Teams and we really, we're just reviewing the agenda, and all of the agenda items have been through one or multiple committees, so there wasn't too much to talk about this month or review. So that was kind of the focus of that. Happy to answer any questions though, if anyone. All right, we'll just keep going to finance and policy. Linda?
Well, Kelly and I could have taken over the world because we were the only two people. Everybody else was like getting tan or going places. So, and then staff. So I guess the thing I really want to talk about is when you get information from the policy committee in particular, it's really a good idea if you read those, because we're not just going to bring them here without them going through a couple of the committees to be able to see. So a second, third, fourth set of eyes to see if something makes sense or doesn't make sense, or something that, staff understands that we don't. It's really good if you'll take a look at those and send your comments to Kelly, because she will bring them all together. So there will be the special permits policy. The bend area thing is a little different. That's different, but there's a lot of different things that are coming up about policy that you're going to want to take a look at and make sure I know it's like not your most exciting reading, so probably not at 8 o'clock at night, but I would suggest maybe at lunch or something if you have the time. And then the other thing I want to talk about is the budget. So we're not really doing much on the budget right now. All the committees are looking at the budget, at their part of the budget. But come May and June and July, staff will be doing a lot of work, and so will the finance committee. So that's when we're going to want to pay a lot of attention. And if you have questions, when you get the board packet, to look at that part as well. So I think that's all I want to say about that.
Yeah, great. Good. Any questions for Linda? All right. Good job, Linda. All right, foundation update. Jane, do you have anything for us?
Just a quick couple things. The foundation board met, I believe it was the 8th of March. And just a couple reminders on dates. The Art for the Parks event is going to be April 27. And if anyone is interested in being a greeter and taking $10 bills from people as they come in the door, you can let Angela know, or you can let me know if you're interested in helping out with that. It's an evening event. I think it's 5 to 8 maybe at the Nature Education Center. So that's April 27. The next fireside chat that Glenn does is going to be April 4. And let's see, the topic sounds really interesting to me. It's going to be Bill Martinez will be giving a presentation on the natural history of Ottawa County parks. So it's meant to, as a informational event, but an event where maybe some donor prospects, might want to attend. Commissioners are always welcome. As I understand, I haven't been to one yet, but the April 4 one might be it. And as I understand, there are donuts involved.
Yes, and cookies. And cookies.
And cookies. So that's April 4, I think 8:30 to 9:30.
That's correct.
Okay, at the Nature Education Center. The breakfast and lunch event is June 20th. If you haven't, let somebody know, Angela or me know, if you'd like to host a table, or if you'd like to attend and you don't know a table host, everyone is welcome. Let me know about that. The Grand Explorers Trail Race, June 22. Start training now. I understand there's, I think we have over 100 entrants at this point already. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah. I think last year there were over 200. No, I don't know. But anyway, we have more than 100 right now. So
they did, I think they got over 100, right, the last few days before the race
yeah, there were
last
quite a
year.
few
So
that came in.
having this many already, that's pretty exciting.
Yep.
I just know I have to be there early to help, really early.
It's a fun event just to even attend if you're not running, to clang the bell as the runners are coming across the finish line and stuff. It's fun. The only other thing I would add is that the foundation board has established its 2024 goals. There I think are 7 of them. Broadly speaking, they have to do with increasing the donor base, board recruitment, and a focus on the Rosie Mound project. So they established measurables for each of those goals and are working hard to get some money for us. So that's about all I have.
You're going to gloss over the jigsaw puzzle event?
The jigsaw puzzle event. Well, I missed it. So, but it was very
Not well.
successful. I think we raised twice as much as last year. So it was a full house, 30 teams, I think.
Wow.
We had some representation that Sadly, did not
win.
win.
I mean, it did,
That's-
right?
We
There's
were the
the,
eye candy.
there's the,
But we had our badges on and people asked us questions, so
Yeah,
I'm just
they
telling
did.
you.
It was good.
there are teams there that are there for the social aspect and
Yes.
the fun of it. And then there are the competitors who take it
Competitors who
pretty
were not
seriously. And they're in
Yes.
a different league.
It was good. The foundation does a great job putting it together, though. I think it's a fun event, so.
Was there a slowest time and the fastest time? Do we
No,
know
but
what
the
those
slowest,
are?
the slowest people start praying for the faster people to get done so they can put their puzzle back together.
It's a
In the
timed
box.
event.
They
It's a
take it
timed
home
event,
to finish
so
it. Yes.
I think you get 3 hours, or 2 hours, or 3 hours. At the end, if you're not done at the end of 3 hours, you just
Neely
break
said
it
they had the
down.
border done when the first group completed.
Was what, sorry?
Neely said she got the border done.
Oh, God.
Okay, but Neely had two.
All right,
Neely
let's
had
keep
2
going.
kids.
We're sorry.
But yes, no, it's okay. It's, yes,
She enjoyed herself and her
That's
people.
right.
They had fun.
yes. There's some good family stuff there too, so,
But that shows you the competitiveness that's going on there.
right. All right, let's keep, oh, sorry, does anyone else have any questions for Jane or Glenn on foundation items? All right.
I meant to email the Art for the Parks little postcard to all of you, and I didn't, but I will. So
Okay.
that gives you more info. That's a really nice event
It
too,
is a nice
especially if
event.
you're in the market for any artwork.
Mhm.
So.
Bourbon glasses.
All right, Upper Macatawa Natural Area Restroom Design Contract. We're moving on to new business, and this is the first item. This has been to the Planning Committee. So,
Are
and we
there
have talked about this before.
the
so-
grant report, if anybody had any questions?
Oh,
on that.
sorry, I skipped that. My bad. I checked it off. I'm sorry, Kurt. Your grant
I don't
report
need to
is in
speak on
there,
any of those
so.
if people have any questions.
It's very thorough, and I
Very
really
thorough.
appreciate this. This is a good reference. Yes,
And it really has been a, right, it's a good opportunity for staff to review it. And then where are we on the projects and reporting? And
Yeah.
Any questions for Kurt on that? All right, sorry, Kurt, I skipped over that, but it is much appreciated.
Yeah, I really, I
So,
do appreciate
too.
this.
All right, now we'll try to move on to Upper Mac. Let's see, hold on, I lost my spot here. Okay, so Kurt, did you want to take this has been through planning too, and we have a suggested motion about the proposal from MC Smith Group. I don't know if anyone from planning would like to make that motion, or if you'd like Kurt to make a brief
Why
summary
don't we get a
first.
motion on the floor and then we can talk
Yeah.
about it.
So moved.
Okay, thanks, Roger.
Second.
All right, thanks, Lucas. All right, Kurt, would you like to just give everyone else a little
Sure. So
rundown
just
there?
a little context, right? We've been working for a while with our partners in the Holland area to improve the greenway. So you probably know there's work going to be done at Hawthorne Pond, and that will include a restroom also that Holland Township is actually spearheading, but that will be, we'll build a trailhead there and trail that would connect Hawthorne Pond all the way east to the Upper Macatawa Natural Area. So this kind of is related to that, although we've been talking about this for a while because this is becoming a fairly popular spot with people because it accesses our nice park, it accesses the paved greenway trail, and it accesses our best mountain bike trails in the county. Or yeah, it certainly, well, it probably is in the county, but certainly in our park system. This are the nicest ones and the most popular. So we really think this would be a great amenity to add. And so a little more context, right? We applied last year for a grant and we're unsuccessful, but we're applying again to a different grant source that would potentially help this. That would delay this project a little bit into next year, likely, but we would like to do the design and engineering now and get that ready because we will find a way to do it if we don't get the grant. So anyway, MCSA Group is architects who have helped us on our restrooms quite a bit. They designed the restroom at Grand Ravines, which was our prototype, kind of our newest ones that have the family restroom and some of the nicer features. So this is similar to that, but adding even better features, like we keep talking about this adult changing table, that would be in here. And then this is also unique because we've had requests from the mountain bikers for changing rooms. So this restroom would have changing rooms and showers in it. So that could be for anybody. If you just happen to get really muddy and you want to clean up, go for it. So anyway, that's what it's for. So this would be a single source. We didn't do a proposal for this. We want to use them because they've done our other ones and the price is in range of what you would expect for this kind of thing. So.
Great, thanks, Kurt. Do we have questions for Kurt or the planning committee? All right, we'll just go ahead and put it to a vote then. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. All right, motion carries. And moving on to Ottawa Sands Ecological Enhancement. This has also, the change order, and this has also been through planning. So if we could get a motion on the floor in a second.
So move.
Okay,
Second.
great. Thanks, Jane and Roger. All right, Kurt, do you want to give another quick synopsis on this?
Sure. So this is the project that I just talked about is going to get kicked off here tomorrow or in the next couple weeks to do enhancements at Ottawa Sands. We initially hired GEI at a price of, I think, $441,000. But when it all came together, all our funding and grants, we have about $550,000. So we're looking at ways to enhance that project. And so that's what that is. We're going to add more plantings, bigger plantings, so that we're have a better chance of success for this whole project. There's fencing in there because we're thinking we're actually going to try to barricade off some of these areas to keep people out of them during establishment as well. Adding more structures to the lake for fish habitat, bird habitat, frog habitat, all those good things that we're trying to make happen around the lake and nearby. So yeah, this is a change order to the current contract to add that.
All right, any questions on that item? Comments? All right, I will be abstaining from this vote, but we'll put that to a vote for everyone else. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. All right, motion carries. And moving on to Zealand Township easement at Upper Mac. We have this is Kurt again, and this has also been through planning. If anyone would care to get a motion on the table.
So moved.
Okay,
Support.
okay, thanks Roger and Lucas. All right,
I'm sorry.
Kurt,
Who is this?
oh,
for?
sorry, Lucas had the motion and Roger supported.
Roger, okay.
Sorry.
I didn't hear you.
I said that backwards too, so. All right, Kurt, do you want to give another?
Sure. I don't know if this came to the Parks Commission as a whole or just at the Planning Committee, but the basic gist of it is Zealand Township, who's one of our partners in the Greenway work in the Holland area, has requested that they be allowed to build a portion of their new trail that they're developing that goes right next to our Upper Macatawa site. And they've requested to use some of our property because if they try to do it in the road right of way, there is a lot of wetland and other problems that we know about because we deal with these things all the time too and try to avoid them. So we would really like to help them out with that. And we think it is good for the park as well. It provides access, barrier-free access to this side of the park and connects to our eastern entrance, which is the less used entrance. So theoretically in the near future, we could even get a barrier-free path that goes right to where we would like near the parking lot. But this is a great start. We initially thought there might be some restrictions because it was grant funded, the purchase of this property. That is not the case. But there is a conservation easement held by the Land Conservancy of West Michigan. We think they won't have a problem with it because they've allowed trails before. And actually, if you read the easement, it says we can do these kinds of things. We have submitted it to them, but I don't have a final answer back. And that's why the motion says
Okay.
pending their approval and corporate council approving the language in here as well.
Great. Any questions, comments? All right. Let's just correct the spelling on corporation council before we send it to the board. But other than that.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's okay. All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. All right. Motion carries.
Spell check doesn't get that one, Kelly.
It's a real word. It's just the wrong.
Right, I know.
That's
Right,
good.
If that is ever in a packet, that's me who's made
Oh, no,
that
that's
mistake.
all right.
So I'm
Well, when I'll
sure-
pass this, we go through this, we go through Jen, it goes through Jason, so I don't know.
Oh.
That's all right. We know the intent here. Okay, the parks and open space millage levy amount. This was discussed at finance and policy. Okay, thanks, Linda. Have the motion on the table. Do we have a second?
Support.
Okay, thanks, Lucas.
And this is just our annual request for their annual millage money from, that's already in our current millage. This is not new millage, this is current millage,
Right.
standard procedure.
Yep, so it's a formality we have to go through every year. So are there questions or is there anything else you wanted to add, Jason?
Pretty
No?
straightforward.
Okay,
All of the various commissions and departments that have a special millage go through this process. I send a letter to the fiscal services director, and then she does the same. It'll be reviewed and discussed and approved at the Board of Commissioners level. So,
great. Thank you. All right, anything else? Questions? All right, we'll go ahead and put it to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. All right, motion carries. We will go on to the Ottawa County Municipal Civil Infraction Bureau. This is kind of almost a FYI, like for information, but I guess we'll be having a suggested motion to accept it, this new policy that was revised, and Finance and Policy did go over this last week as well. So do we have a motion?
So moved.
Okay. We have support?
Support.
Okay. Okay. Since this is a little bit new for some folks, to one of the Jasons.
no, so it was a great process as we worked through the new software for the motor vehicle permit licensing. And then there's a component of that helps manage the citations. We worked with fiscal services. So back in 95, in order to retain the fines associated with civil infractions, they create a civil infractions bureau. So that allows the collection of those fines to stay here. If we didn't have that, it would automatically be forwarded to the courts, and those then are predetermined, and the vast majority of that goes to the courts to support the court system. So the fines then are allocated to kind of the staff and the resources to process these. It was a really good process for us to work internally on kind of the steps hand in hand with the treasurer's office on just that process. So Jason, anything else?
No, it's just, these edits will just help it align with our current procedures of how we write citations and violation notices, and also will allow for a process for us to be reimbursed for our direct costs of writing those citations. So the money itself goes to the treasurer's office, and then we can submit our direct costs and be reimbursed.
Great. All right. Is that it? Everybody understand that?
I just like the
Till
fact that from 1995 to now, it's updated.
Yeah, It's probably overdue, right?
Well, and
makes it
that's
a
one
little
of
clearer,
the,
more
that's one of the
clear.
components that we'll do now is we'll really try and monitor those expenses and work with the treasurer's office. If, those citations, that dollar amount was established in 1995. So, yeah.
Okay, great. Any other questions, comments?
Just the
ahead,
comment.
Bruce.
So what you're saying, Jason, so basically the monies stay with the Parks Department or stays with the county or how does it
So
go?
it goes into, the intent is it goes into this fund that supports this Civil Infractions Bureau. So the intent is only to cover that
Okay,
cost.
gotcha.
So they have to, so for parking violation, for instance, there's subscriptions to databases that are needed to look up a license plate. So those staff at the treasurer's office have that. They take care of that component for us. So, and then that's how it's all kind of issued. So the intent is just to recoup
Just cover
costs.
costs basically
Yeah.
then.
And
Okay,
and
thanks.
this relates to the costs of the citations that are paid out without them going to court. If somebody wants to plead not guilty and go have their day in court, then it moves on to a whole nother process.
Thanks.
Good. Anybody else? All right, we'll go ahead and put it to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. All right, motion carries. And item F on here is just an information only. It's the Parks Commission annual report. So,
So we have the written document. If anybody finds any typos or anything, it's not too late. We still, I think, have another week, a little more than a week before we submit it to go to the board. So we also have our draft video. If you all don't mind, we'll share that too.
yeah,
So
great.
Cool.
I will just preface, this is the first draft, so more polished version.
it's really good
Oh,
though. I
okay.
mean, there's
Okay.
minor things, but really great.
Thanks, that
Good
was
job.
great.
So
Way to go,
these
Riley.
are both still draft documents. Riley's done an amazing job on putting this together. And so if you noticed anything, feel free to reach out and share, or happy to answer any questions or you all have on either the video or the written report.
All right, great. Any questions on the annual report or summary for anybody?
And that's going to the full commission in April, early April.
Oh, yeah. Okay, great. Well, thank you for sharing. That's always fun to watch. Time flies. You forget how much got accomplished in the last year. A lot of things going on. All right, we will move on to the annual review of Historic Ottawa Beach Society Pump House Museum Agreement. That's item 11G on our agenda. This has been reviewed at the last Finance and Policy Committee meeting. If we can get a motion on the table in a second.
So moved.
Okay, thanks, Linda.
Second.
Or
Whatever.
Bruce, okay. I heard Bruce first, so I'll put Bruce down for a second.
All right.
All right. Jason, is this something you wanted to go over briefly or?
So we have, the Pump House Museum and the relationship we have with the folks at Historic Ottawa Beach has been longstanding. This lease was updated, I think in 2020, 2021. So they operated for us. The estimates look like about 1,000 visitors last year, and then or 3,000 visitors. They had over 1,000 volunteer hours. They have 2 new exhibits, so Hotel Ottawa and the Sparkling Change exhibit. So they're open Memorial Day to Labor Day, so I encourage you all to go down and check it out. It's a great partnership. So we listed a few of the things we'll be coordinating with them on this upcoming year. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool museum.
Yeah. Hopefully everybody's had a chance to go down there and check it out at some point because it's worth the trip.
Yeah, it's a nice little museum. Do you know if they're going to change their exhibit this year or is it going to stay the same?
So I think these 2 are 2 new ones.
The-
And then the one we have up at the Nature Center now, SS Michigan. So that's on loan from them. They did graciously offer, I think the 2 that they just took down to us. So we might consider that. So,
Nice.
Oh, great.
Good. All right.
Didn't get to see that.
So we have a suggested motion, which will just be the acceptance of the annual summary as presented. And we have a motion on the floor, so we'll just go ahead and put it to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. All right, motion carries. And then the final item is the special permit at the Bend area to the Menno Lake Neighborhood Lake Association for a little improvement to a private boat launch area there. I think this has been reviewed by both planning and the Finance and Policy Committee. If we have someone who would like to put the motion out there.
So moved.
Okay, thanks, Lucas. And do we have a second?
Support.
Okay, thank you, Linda. Okay. Kurt, did you want to give just a brief synopsis of this for newer folks?
that my name is on.
So I'm happy to. I'm happy to. Well, Kurt had shepherded it. So this was a request from the neighborhood association adjacent to, there's an inland lake there, and it does not have public access other than through our property. So they had made this request to make an improvement for them they manage yearly, do some aquatic invasive species management, but also to bring in their personal watercrafts, take them in and take them out each year. So couple conditions, it would be, we would ask them to be adopt a park have an agreement with us and kind of manage the Bend area under an adopted park. So, and they would need to meet all local, state, county regulations and permits. So.
Good.
I'm sorry.
No,
The
go ahead.
Access would be limited to the homeowners association,
Correct.
only those folks, yeah.
That little path.
Yep.
I guess I have a question about, so is this just like a special permit that will be issued for a one-time improvement?
It's a one-time improvement, and
Okay.
then we'll annually renew it as long as they write
Okay.
the access agreement, as long as they do the.
So I
the
guess I was
adopted
just
park.
wondering, like, if the special permit's issued to an individual as the representative of the homeowners association for this, then if he leaves or sells his house or whatever, or isn't the rep, then next year it would just be amended? Or why isn't it has to go to an individual and not just the homeowners association in general?
It just, he was our primary point of contact and was representing them, so.
Okay. So it's issued to the homeowners association, but not necessarily him specifically.
Correct.
Okay. I was just wondering how the wording might play out on that. Okay.
Another question. If a person, say, if I want to take my kayak there, after that is improved, then where can a person park?
So
That
this,
doesn't
they
belong to
actually
them.
own the footprint of the lake, so.
Right.
Meaning there's not public access to the lake. So when we acquired the property, when that was acquired, the homeowners association retained ownership around the lake. So it's not available for public use.
Okay, thanks.
And that's why they're asking, this is the only real access they have to access it for their own use. So.
It's a bit confusing, but I think the graphic on the last page of the packet does a good job of outlining what you're describing. Like the whole lake is owned
Yep.
privately.
Gotcha.
Correct.
Oh,
But
the
to get to-
schematic one on the. at the
Yeah,
end.
so you can kind of see the property boundary. It's, so all of the access to the water is private. But they have
Gotcha.
to come across our it's, different. It's a little bit of an anomaly, I guess. but-
Okay, yeah, I see now. Thanks.
So instead of them making 12 tracks, they're gonna make one nice little track to get to there.
Okay, gotcha.
It's good for us, good for them.
Right.
There's plenty of other kayaking opportunities at Bend area, not on that lake, but on the other bodies of water.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yep, good question, though. Anyone else? Questions, comments? All right, we'll go ahead and put it to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. All right, motion carries. Okay. All right, we will go ahead and move to our second public comment period. It looks like we have Wendy, or did you want to make another 3 minutes of public? We have a second public comment period, or I noticed, thank you for sticking around for the whole meeting, but.
I've said everything I need to
Okay,
say at this meeting.
okay.
Thank you.
All right, great. All right, thank you. All right, seeing as there is no one else in the audience that's filled out a card, we should move on to Commissioner's prerogative. And we'll start down there, Paul.
Nothing to report.
Okay, Joe?
I got nothing.
All right, Jane?
Just one thing, I wanted the commission to know that I will be running for office in Robinson Township. I filed to run for a trustee position. There are 2 positions there. I already talked to Jason about it, and I don't think we saw anything in our bylaws that would preclude me from doing that. If I prevail, it might mean I would need to abstain on a vote here and there, but just FYI.
Great. All right, thank you. Just super quick, I just wanted to give a shout out to park staff on all of the great partnerships that you guys have with outside groups and volunteers and, organizations and that kind of thing. I think just seeing what spurred that was the Coffee with the Birds program that just wrapped up, and that's just always such a huge successful program, and Rick Veldman and Kestrel Imaging and some of the work that he's able to contribute to that. And everywhere we look, there's always programs that really tie in some private and volunteer groups. So it's just really neat to see. So I like seeing all the partnerships, which are just being an incredible benefit to the county residents, I think. So good. Linda?
Nope, I'm good.
Roger?
I just had a couple things. I was at a regional planning meeting earlier today. There is, I guess, the project for the West Spring Lake Road Bridge in Ferrysburg. This is kind of a well-known project. Believe that's going to be, what's that?
Smith's Bayou.
Smith's Bayou Bridge. Yeah, like a $14 million project. And it's gone through the Transportation Improvement Policy Board today. So it's looking like that might be something coming in 2026. And just kind of a question, if I really didn't follow up with Ferrysburg on this, but I didn't know if this is something that, while they're talking about a bridge of this magnitude, what sort of level of non-motorized and trail connections that might present.
So there's a trail connection on both is that the north and the south side of the bridge? And then I believe that the plans call for widening, so it has a sidewalk on both sides of the existing infrastructure. And I believe they're going to be widening the east side. Am I getting it right? Lucas, I'm looking at you. So I think I think I heard that.
One side or the other.
Yeah.
As I recall that we rented a house up there while our house was being built, and it reminds me a lot of the Stearns Creek Bridge, because there's these skinny little cement, walkways on either side of that bridge, and you sort of take your life in your hands if you're.
Heavily used by fishermen.
What's that?
Yes.
Heavily used by fishermen.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So when are they going to get started on that? Rob?
I don't know when they're going to get started, but it's, I guess, moving forward through the funding mechanism.
Okay.
So there was, I guess, a lot of support for this project for a long time. I think people recognize what it would be like if it was closed. So it's good to see that that's making progress. And then just the second thing, just kind of to acknowledge the public comment today. I was grateful for the time that I had with Wendy and Melissa out at the Bass River area, just getting acclimated to sort of what all happens there. And so I guess just a request for a conversation, maybe for planning, to talk about if there's, because I don't really know where we are in that process of, laying out that survey and all of that. So that would just be a request from myself.
Lucas?
Just real quick, the Northwest Ottawa area, which would include Spring Lake Township, the Village of Spring Lake, City of Ferrysburg, City of Grand Haven, and Grand Haven Township. They're all working together on a joint recreation plan. And so this will be the third time they've done that as a group. It's not as blended as I would like it to be. It's really 5 different plans kind of under one cover. But we're working to create some good regional goals through this process this year. And we did actually, we're working with Pam Blau from PMB Associates. She's a landscape architect. She just finalized the proposal for us to look at. So that'll be going out here shortly. And we did incorporate some places for Ottawa County parks to be involved and have Jason's input and kind of talking about the cooperative organizations and things of that nature. So some of the processes that we're going to be going through are similar to what we're going through right now with the strategic planning process. So I think it'll dovetail real nice as we go through that process. So I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to add, Jason, but.
No, so when, so like our data from our scientific survey, we can, for those jurisdictions, we can pull that out, extract that out and provide that for the plan. Looking at some of the landscape level management, when we think about, Harbor Island and Ottawa Sands and the Grand River Coastal Corridor, kind of looking at that, and then the trail segments out of those all connect. So, yeah. So whenever we talked, whenever Pam has the proposal, we'll just add it to the planning agenda. Review.
Yep. That'd be awesome. And one of the best things that came out of that is the inventory map. So of all of the parks in Northwest Ottawa County. So when municipalities are looking at, well, do we need more pickleball courts, for example, then you can look at this map and look at the chart and see which areas have which facilities, so you're not duplicating things and things of that nature. So it's a daunting process, but it'll get underway here in April, hopefully.
Okay, good. Good update. Thanks, Lucas. Bruce?
I don't have any particular things other than I'm a little ignorant when Wendy and the other folks were speaking about the equestrian trails that are available in the county. I'm kind of out in the weeds on knowing what's available and what has been available, and so I don't know if there's a way for me to get informed on that, so I'm not out so much in the weeds. And
Brochure back there, the brochure that's got the parks and what they have.
Yep. So we do have equestrian trails at Pigeon Creek.
Okay.
And they're closed seasonally during the winter. And then
Eastmanville Farms.
Farms as well. So Bass River's owned and operated by the DNR. So, however, our trail, the Grand River Greenway Item Explorers Trail, will be running through that. So.
Okay, thanks.
Good. All right. That's all we have on our agenda. So we will put out a motion to move into closed session if someone would like to make that and second.
So
Make that
move.
motion.
Okay, thanks, Joe.
Ignorance.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, thanks, Lucas.
Mhm.
All right. We will move into a roll call for closed session and then can we move into the back room then
We can.
this time? Okay. Do we want to take roll once we get back there?
No, I think we do that, probably do that here.
Okay. All right. We'll do that here then. Okay. Go ahead, Kyle, if you'd like to take roll.
Rice,
Yes.
Longstreet,
Yes.
McCaffrey,
Yes.
Spellkamp,
Yes.
Bush,
Yes.
Greenlee,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Sachs.
Yes.
Time for enough